Hello, my loves. Just wanted to pop in with a quick inquiry for you about how you have experienced grief. So, a friend and I were talking about how when we're feeling kind of down, sometimes we have a desire to stuff that down even deeper down with some ice cream or chocolate, some other kind of food makeup to cover up the intensity of what we're feeling, and to try to even change the emotional reaction that we're having. Try to help it segue into something else, because ice cream makes us happy and chocolate makes us happy, and gives us a different feeling than the one that we're feeling now, especially with grief or sadness. And we were discussing the addictive nature of food when it comes to using it so that we can give ourselves a different feeling. Because that's essentially anything that is addictive. That's what we're doing. When I was smoking weed every day, several times a day, I was always doing it in the hopes that it would give me a different feeling. I was addicted to the idea of feeling differently than I would naturally feel if I didn't have that crutch to lean on. So in times of grief, that can often be our crutch that we lean on is food. Oh, mac and cheese. Oh my gosh, mac and cheese, that ultimate comfort food, or whatever your comfort food is. There's always something that makes us feel more comfortable. And we were talking about the addictiveness of food, but I want to bring into it also the nature of the opposite, which is when we are experiencing such strong emotion, or when our bodies are even experiencing such a strong immune response, such a strong response to something outside of ourselves, that we lose our appetite completely and we need to fast, and we feel like we just can't seem to not hold anything down, but put anything in. There are times when I've been sick, and I'm sure you can relate to this, where people have told me that I need to drink a lot of fluids, that I need to eat to build my strength, but I just wasn't hungry. And I would often force myself to eat, feeling like I have to eat something or I'll die. But the truth is, if we don't eat, it'll probably take like a couple weeks for us to actually starve ourselves. And that's one of the reasons why I know now that fasting when I'm sick is actually a good thing. It's my body giving me signals. It's my body telling me what it actually needs in order to help the processes that are going on internally. And those internal processes when I'm sick involve decreasing my digestive energy so that I can increase my immunoresponse energy. My immune system needs more power to fight whatever is invading my body, and when I'm digesting, it's using up some of that power. And I think there is a good and a bad in all of it. Of course, if you force yourself to eat when you're sick and you're doing something, it's something nutritious, then of course, like, it probably could help you a little bit. But if you, if you're actually listening to your body and you're letting it tell you when it's hungry again, you might actually find that you can beat sickness so much more easily with less headache and heartache than when you're trying to put something in and then maybe you just can't keep it down. I mean, I've been there before, wanting to help myself and actually ending up hurting myself. That's one of the things that I think we can compare to, one of the situations that we can compare to periods of grief when we've completely lost our appetite and we just can't even think straight or see straight, and all we want to do is just stay in bed and rest. It's a very similar response to an emotional sickness as when we're actually physically sick from a bacteria or a virus. The grief that we feel, and in fact all of our emotions, cause a different response, a varied response with our immune system. So it makes sense that when we're grieving to the point where we've lost our appetite and we just can't consume anything or do anything for ourselves, that we would have that desire to fast, to not eat pizza and ice cream and mac and cheese to make ourselves feel better, but to just rest and give ourselves time to heal. I think we don't have enough of a correlation between physical healing, like immune system healing, digestive healing, and emotional healing. Because emotional healing is the same as physical healing. There's still a spiritual link to everything. When you get sick and you're having throat issues, it's probably more often than not because there's some version of yourself that hasn't been speaking up or hasn't really been comfortable being honest, or is in need of practicing self-love in a way that allows you to speak more kindly toward yourself. And maybe you haven't experienced that yet, recognizing that correlation, that linking of a need for spiritual healing with a need for physical healing. But I know that there have been times for me when I have felt really anxious and unsafe, and like the ground was shaking under me financially, and that caused a herpes outbreak. That caused me to experience a herpes outbreak because in my root area, in the base of my body, I was feeling like I am not safe, I am not grounded, I am not stable, and suddenly my body was telling me, yes, we hear you. We hear your soul speaking. Your soul is hearing those words that you're telling yourself. Your soul is hearing that and is trying to help you face it sooner, faster, better, with more intentionality by creating a physical response that allows you to really tune in and focus on that one thing. And it's the same with emotional illness. There is a part of us that needs to be focused on, a part of our soul that has heard all of the things that we've been saying to ourselves or has witnessed our behavior and lets us know it's time for healing. It's time for us to not just stuff it down and pour chocolate syrup and whipped cream and sprinkle and a cherry on top of it and cover it, but it's time for that to be bare, to lay bare before you, so that you can really look at it, really experience it, really give yourself the time of fucking day. Really give that part of yourself the time of day, so that it's not just something that's hurting you and plaguing you. It's something that can feel your attention, feel your love, and experience healing on a level that you've been putting off for far too long. That's what fasting really is all about. When it comes to, so there's fasting when you're sick, to give your body some space to do the healing that it needs to do. There is fasting when you're experiencing periods of grief and you just can't possibly eat because you just can't possibly imagine even going on living. There have been times where I've felt that way. There's also a fasting for spiritual reasons. There are lots of religious communities that fast for certain occasions, and it provokes the spirit to really feel like there's space to speak and to be heard and to be seen and to be witnessed. And I think that is a very beautiful way to give your body space, is by saying, I'm doing nothing, I'm consuming nothing, I am saying nothing, I am just here in that silence, stillness, and spaciousness to fucking receive you. I'm here to receive you right now. I think that is fucking gorgeous. And it's also not done very frequently, because not a lot of people know that you can choose to fast for spiritual reasons, even if it's not like Ramadan. You can choose to fast during times when there is a need for spiritual healing, because ultimately spiritual healing is the core healing that needs to happen during any period of unwellness. I was gonna say sickness, but when you're feeling really strong emotions, I mean, that's not really sickness, it's just not feeling your best. I feel my best when I am experiencing strong emotions and I sit with them. I don't do anything else. I put myself in a space where the only thing that I've got to do for that moment, for that hour, or for that 2-hour period is to just be with that emotion, to commune with that emotion. And that's a kind of fasting too. I mean, that's a version, a style of fasting that is really unseen today, because we're all so fucking busy. I mean, we've just got this like massively productive lifestyle that doesn't really allow a whole lot of space, doesn't really give us a whole lot of space for addressing our emotional needs or our spiritual needs. But when we program time into our schedule and we create an outline for our life that has that intention, creates that intention for always making space because that shit's important, then that's what we get. That's what we get to do. That's what we give to ourselves, is we give ourselves a productivity fast so that the nothingness that we're doing allows the soul to be the one who does for us and shows us what it's been doing, so we can appropriately react. Because how often have you realized, like, oh, my soul is doing something, but I'm like too busy? I'm too busy. I'm just too busy. I'm too busy to do anything about it. I'm too busy to deal with it. I know my soul is hurting. I know there's a soul ache happening, but I'm too busy. The soul is always doing. The soul is always being. And I know that I made a lot of jumps to get here, but I feel like this is a really beautiful point to rest at, is the soul is always being and trying to do for us. So whether that is triggering emotions or triggering a physical illness, triggering something that we have to pay attention to because we've been too busy to pay attention, the soul is doing that for us, for our ultimate good, for our ultimate benefit. And I hope that this video has helped you to see the areas of your life where you might need a little bit of fasting. You might need a little bit of food fasting, or addictive substance fasting, or just time fasting, just productivity fasting, so that you can really sit with yourself and see and hear and feel everything that the soul has been doing for you in order to help you to just be with it and to be more of your truest version of yourself, more of your most loving version of yourself. Thank you for receiving me. Thank you for taking this time to witness a part of you that you needed to see reflected in this video. And just want you to know that I love you so much, and you're deserving of all the love you desire. Have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day.